The most important real estate on your LinkedIn profile is what we refer to as the top fold, and that's what comes up when somebody actually clicks on your profile link. So if everybody was to do that right now, you're going to see that your photograph comes up, your headline comes up, and then your connection, your public URL, and maybe, depending on how long it is, part of your summary. It is very important that you nail this top fold and optimize those three key things that I just mentioned. So when we think about what should go up there, I'm going to tell you that we have to think about the keywords that we're using, how we use those in our headline and summary, and of course our picture. So let's look at that a little bit more closely. I'm going to bring up my own as a screenshot here. The picture is vital. We don't need pictures on resumes, but you do need a picture on LinkedIn. Above all else, above everything else that you can do for this photograph, there is one thing that you need to do most, and that is look approachable. Now the second piece of it is the headline. And the headline, as you can see with mine there, is a list of keywords with vertical line dividers. This is extremely important. One thing that all of us need to do is identify the keywords that we want to be known for. All of us should be evaluating ourselves and saying, what skills do I most want to be known for? What skills do I want to be endorsed for? What skills do I want to create keyword density for in my profile? And that's because the more those keywords are in your profile, the more likely you are to show up in search results. So be really careful, think about your keywords, and make sure you get them up there with the vertical line dividers so that you can be found more readily. Now lastly after that is the summary, and I haven't shown a photograph of my summary here, but that normally would come up just below the send a message section. The key to summaries is to keep them short. The summary, the word summary by definition means short. Keep them factual. It's usually 3 or 4 sentences tops, and they're numbers driven. Again, you want to be listing those keywords that you're showcasing in your headline in that summary for consistency. Okay, moving down to number 2, making numbers your secret weapon. If any of you are in active job search right now and have been doing some studying up on resumes, you'll know that there's a huge trend towards accomplishment-driven resumes. So having numbers in your LinkedIn profile is very, very important. You want to quantify your accomplishments, especially as they relate to your top 10 key skill sets. Once again, validating each of those skill sets by listing accomplishments related to them in the work history. You want to show growth in numbers. What percentage have you grown sales? What percentage have you grown the staff? And you want to use those numbers, as I said, in the summary and the job descriptions, both sections, because numbers make all the difference. It allows the recruiter to get a sense of who you are. It allows anyone who's considering you for an opportunity to understand just how large or small the types of projects have been that you've worked on. And it certainly is more impressive. It's just more memorable and more impressive. Okay, moving on. Number 3, unlocking keywords to attract recruiters. You have to ask yourself, what keywords do I want to be found on? Whether it's for job search or for your business, and you need to make sure those keywords are all over your profile and then some. There are so many places that you can optimize for these keywords, right? We want to think about them in the summary, think about them in the headline, think about them in the job descriptions, think about them in the skills and endorsement section, but also there are many other sections of LinkedIn where you could be showcasing those keywords, like projects. There's a project section. Or recommendations. This is a very important one. Asking your recommendations to speak to certain keywords and skill sets so that those are incorporated in are equally important. Associations and projects, I mentioned already, but associations, volunteer work, education, there are all these different facets and aspects of you as a professional where you can tie back to these keywords. And that density makes all the difference. So be thinking about repetitive use of the same keywords. It'll almost feel a little boring to you. You'll feel like you're repeating yourself, but that's actually the point in order for them to see that you have that level of experience that they're looking for. Next one, powering up your interview bucket list. So whether we're in job search, whether we're trying to build our business, work with more customers, the one powerful thing that we can do on LinkedIn is create a bucket list. And we can do that by following companies on LinkedIn. Very, very important that we do that. When we follow a company on LinkedIn, not only do they see that we're following them, when they search on people, we show up higher in their results because we're following them. But also it gives us an inbound feed of information. Every time they post something, maybe it's a job that they're hiring for, or an announcement about a big contract they've won, or a new product or service they've developed, they are going to put that in their feed. And if you are following that company, you will get in your digest a notification about that. And this is one of the easiest ways for us to engage with companies and brands that we want to partner with. So having the right companies to follow and showcasing them on your profile is extremely important and can help your business in a multitude of ways. So some tips with that. Find the companies that are similar to your own values. Research missions and purposes and culture. Create that dream list of companies and get them up there. You'll be able to showcase on your profile alone quite a few companies, and that will impress them because they will go check out and see if you are in fact following them. So you want to be proactive there as much as you can. Moving down to number 5, promoting your LinkedIn persona. This is definitely one of those situations where the better you build your LinkedIn profile, more people will come to it, but you can quadruple that if you actively promote your LinkedIn persona. So things like having it in the signature of your email may seem obvious, but the other way to promote your LinkedIn persona is to contribute on LinkedIn in the form of sharing. You need to consistently promote yourself on LinkedIn. And the way that you do that is by sharing articles and tools and resources that are of interest to you with respect to your career. Okay, number 6, so connection requests. The key to those on LinkedIn is to personalize them as much as you possibly can. And a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people are getting in there and having a little operator error with LinkedIn. You might be in LinkedIn and you'll see somebody and you'll randomly hit the connect button next to them and it says it sent your message request. And what that has done is sent an automated message, and we've all gotten them before, that says, I'd like to add you to my network on LinkedIn. Those have the highest rate of dismissal. Most people will not accept connections requests like that because they know it's generic. So if you want to dramatically increase the amount of connections you get with strangers, you have to personalize the request. All right, number 7, we're going to talk about the resume alternative. So we've talked about what you need on LinkedIn, but once you've given them a taste of who you are in LinkedIn, why not send them to some other places or give them some other things so they can get an even bigger sense of who you are, right? So there are a couple things that you can do to be able to add to your LinkedIn profile. So first of all is creating a personal website. There are other things that you can do, like writing, blogging for content. Everyone here today has the little pencil on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has given everybody their own blogging platform. Once you start getting your training wheels off, there are other things that you can do, like record short videos and pop them in, create slide decks. SlideShare is a company that's owned by LinkedIn. They have great tools for creating slide decks, little presentations about subjects. These are all things that then can be attached to your LinkedIn profile that add flavor, that add authority, that add credibility. And it really does pay to have that on your profile. It's going to set you apart from all those people that are really phoning it in and have very light or weak profiles. The more that you can put into this, the more that you will get out.